Hello, I am going to now tell you how to change from direct speech into indirect speech if you have questions. What do I mean here? If you look at what is written over here, it is very clear that we are talking about questions. In the direct speech, when questions are given, then we check the reporting verb or the introductory verb. If it is in the present tense or in the past tense, there will be a difference. If the introductory verb is in the present tense or the future tense, then what do? We will say, for example, if I say, Ravi said, "Where are you going?" Ravi said, "Where are you going?" In that case, I will remember that said has been written there, but I will change it into Ravi inquired. Ravi asked. So, when the introductory verb is given as said, it will be changed into ask, inquire or demand. If it is in the present tense, if it is says, it will become ask. If it is will say, it will become will ask, will demand, will inquire. But if it is in the past tense, it will become asked, inquired, demand. Please remember this. One important thing to remember is that when you have the direct speech, there is a question. But when you write it in the indirect speech, then the question mark will go and it will become a declarative sentence. It will be like a sentence in which you are asking a question. So there also, that means at the end you will have a full stop, because it will become a sentence. So in the direct speech, it could be a question, but when you are changing it into indirect speech, it will become a flat sentence, which is a declarative sentence. So these are two things that you need to remember. And the third point here to be remembered is that if there is a question whose answer can be yes or no. Supposing I say, Ravi asked, or Ravi said to Vinay. Ravi said to Vinay, "Are you going home?" The answer will be yes, or the answer will be no. So Ravi said to Vinay, "Are you going home?" How will you change it into indirect speech? You will say, Ravi asked Vinay if he was going home. Or you can say, Ravi asked Vinay whether he was going home. Are you going home? This is question. This is a question. In addition to that, this is present continuous. Are and going are there. So it will change into past continuous. Was and going. But because it is in the question form, how will we write it? Ravi asked Vinay. We won't say that. That will not come. Ravi asked Vinay if he was going home. Ravi asked Vinay whether he was going home. And remember, all of you tend to make a huge mistake when you're writing whether. You tend to write W-E-A-T-H-E-R. W-E-A-T-H-E-R means Mausam. Weather, but this is weather. This weather means if, right? Then the last one. This is if the question that you have inside the inverted commas, if that is, for example, the policeman asked the constable, "Where are you going?" If supposing you're starting with who, whom, what, which, where, how, why, then see what happens. The policeman said to the constable, "Where are you going?" The policeman asked the constable. No if, no whether, and no that. The policeman asked the constable where he was going. When you are asking a question, it is was he going. But here it has become a sentence. So it will become where he was going. Let's take a few more examples. If I say, for example, Ravi said to Meena, are you going to your school? So it can become Ravi asked Meena if she was going to her school. Why is that so? Because over here what I said was Ravi said to Veena, are you going to school? Ravi asked Veena if she was going to school. She was going to school. She was going to school is a declarative sentence. It is the word was is going to come after the subject, that is she. It will not come before. Let's take another sentence. The answers are yes or no in all these cases. Ram asked Ravi, do you play football? The answer can be yes or the answer can be no. So here what will we do? We will say Ram asked Ravi. Ram said to Ravi. Ram said to Ravi changes into Ram asked Ravi. There will be no that. And because the answer to the question, do you play football, can be yes or no. It can't be anything else. You can't say, sometimes I play and sometimes I don't. That's not what you are being asked. Do you play football? Yes, sometimes. But yes will come. No, not very often. So, no has to come. Whether it is yes or no, that is not the point. The point is, if the answer is going to be yes or no, you will use if or whether. So, Ram asked Ravi if he played. Play will become past tense. If he played football. And it's a sentence. If he played football. Subject has come first and the verb played has come afterwards. If it was a question, it would be, do you play football? Right? So, do you play football? Or here, what am I doing? I am asking a question, but when I am writing it in indirect speech, it is changing into a flat declarative sentence. So, Ravi said to Ram, do you play cricket? Ravi asked Ram if he played cricket. Rest of the rules will remain the same. Let me take one more example of this particular point. Supposing I asked you where you're going, I said, the teacher asked the boy, what is your name? The teacher asked the boy, what is your name? What is your name? Is has come before your, that because it's a question. But when I make it a sentence, it should be your. Is should not come before. What is your name? Your name is what it should be. So the teacher asked the boy, what is your name? The teacher asked the boy, know that. The teacher asked the boy what his name was. Is has changed to past tense was. I hope that is clear. You must try out some of these where you have to change the questions in the direct speech into indirect speech. What do you have to remember? Just 4 things. And these are that in the direct speech, even if it is a question, in the indirect speech, it will become a sentence. So you will have a full stop. So you have to remember that the verb will never come before the subject. Is your home. Your home is the subject. Is the verb which comes before your home. Why? Because this is a question. But when you write the indirect speech, write it in indirect speech, is will come after your home. Your home is, right? So that is one thing. Second thing is said to will change into ask, inquire, demand, depending on whether it is present tense, future tense, or past tense. Then the third one, very important, if the question in the direct speech, has an answer which could be either yes or no, then you use an if or a whether. You can use if or whether, any of the two. And the last one, that if the question starts with who, whom, what, which, where, how, why, you will not have what word? He said to him that. So that will not be there. That word will not come at all when you're changing your questions from direct speech to indirect speech. So what will happen is, if you have who, whom, what, where, where, how, why, then you will start with these words only. Supposing I say, Ravi asked Meena, are you going to the theatre tonight? Ravi asked Meena, are you going to the theatre tonight? What will the answer be? Ravi asked Meena, right? Ravi asked Meena if she, Meena is she, if she was going to the theatre tonight will become that night. That night. Ravi said to Meena, are you going to the theatre tonight? Change it into indirect speech. Ravi asked Meena if she was going to the theatre that night. So that is again, the answer could have been yes or no. So these are the things that you need to remember. Remember that the word that does not come when you change questions from the direct speech into indirect speech. These are the a few things which you need to remember. I think that's about it for this class, and we'll go to some more different kinds of direct to indirect speech in my next video. So see you soon and keep smiling. Enjoy yourself.